All right, so our next topic and the final topic of these PMP sessions is about integration management, which is where we integrate everything, or we take an integrated look of the overall project that we have discussed till now. So this is where this integration management knowledge area comes in. Uh, so Integration management starts with, you can say, integrating. This is where we integrate all the plans that we have made, like the scope, schedule, cost, stakeholder, communication, quality, risk, resource management plan, whatever plan that we have made, we combine them to get our comprehensive project management plan, which then gives us an integrated view of how things are connected and how we will be moving forward with our project. And these are the processes that are involved in the integration management. It starts with developing the project charter, which we saw at the start. And in planning phase, when we are doing planning, when we are done with preparing all the different plans, scope, schedule, cost, and all other plans. So those plans, along with some documents, they will give us our project management plan. Uh, and in execution part, we have an important process, which is direct and manage project work, where we actually start working or executing our task to produce our deliverables. And when we are executing, so we are generating some knowledge as well. Knowledge in terms of lessons learned, risk registers, our issue log, our change log. So whatever knowledge that is being produced by the project, we need to manage. We need to uh, uh, store or record that knowledge so that it can later on become part of our knowledge repository. So this is another process that goes hand in hand in the execution phase with the direct and managed project work. Then in monitoring and controlling, we have monitor and control project work, where we take a comprehensive view of how the overall project is going, and we do plan versus actual to see if there are any deviations, any variations, and then maybe we can plan for it, how to rectify or mitigate those situations. And we have the integrated change control process as well. We talked about change continuously throughout the session. So for that, we have an integrated change control process, which follows the same methodology that we have discussed already 2-3 times. And finally, once all the deliverables are accepted, we have the acceptance from the stakeholders. So then we go to the close project or phase process, where we finally close out our complete project. So project management plan, it's basically a combination of all the 10 subsidiary plans that we have prepared. This obviously includes our performance measurement baselines as well, and some other documents, like our uh, different documents that we have prepared, like our risk, uh, our resource calendar, our requirements management plan, requirements documentation, risk register, communication log. So all the documents, they are also utilized as we go along into the project, along with the different plans that are part of our project management plan. And once we are done with the complete planning aspect of the project, so before going into the execution, it is always recommended to have a kickoff meeting before starting execution. Once all the plans are finalized, we have the project management plan ready. And before going into execution, we conduct kickoff meeting uh, to make sure or to communicate with all the important stakeholders so that they understand what is the vision of the project, what we will be delivering, and how different things or responsibilities, role responsibilities will be there in the project, so that everyone is aligned on things. We have the necessary approvals, and then we can start executing the project. Talking about how we execute in predictive methodology. In predictive, we do majority of planning upfront. So we know we have the activity list, we have the work breakdown structure, we know what resources are required, what human physical resources are required. So we acquire them, manage them, we perform tasks and produce our deliverables as per the plan. Any changes, any corrective actions as and when required and approved, we implement them. We keep monitoring the risk, and as soon as any risk trigger, we implement the responses that are already planned. We do issue handling. We continuously monitor the assumptions that we have documented in our assumption log. We communicate a lot. Communication is an important aspect when we are executing to maintain effective and efficient and collaborative stakeholder relationships. Quality, we perform quality assurance to make sure whatever we are producing, it's of the right quality. We may be doing procurements as well. So everything that we have discussed, this is all we do in the execution part of the project. And adaptive in agile or in adaptive methodology, we know how we plan. It's all iterative planning, iterative development. The team is self-organized. They take responsibility and accountability. Risk response is also iterative, and we do a lot of communication at regular intervals. We are change open to changes. Communication and engagement with the stakeholders is more continuous and more frequent. Quality is built into everything. So this is how we execute when we are into the agile or adaptive methodology. We also try to balance the constraints, especially in predictive methodology, that the constraints that we talk about, which set the boundary around us. So any change that comes to us, or any deviation that we see, so we need to do the analysis and that how it is going to impact our different constraints, and then maybe we start taking action accordingly. Project management information system is also an important aspect for the management of knowledge and distribution of knowledge and communication with our stakeholders. We can utilize a simple Excel sheet or maybe some hi-fi tools, maybe MS Project, Jira, Asana, Trello. There are many tools that are available there, Primavera. So whatever tool uh, is required by our stakeholders, or whatever tool we want to utilize, based on that we can utilize it to uh, store information, to track progress, budgeting, estimating, resource management, planning, whatever we can do utilizing that particular tool. And knowledge management, managing knowledge is an extremely important aspect. We talked about this earlier as well. The importance of this uh, that how it is important to make sure that whatever knowledge that is being generated from our project, it is properly documented, properly organized, so that that knowledge, once the project is over, we are able to transfer that knowledge to the knowledge repository of the organization, so that upcoming or future projects, they can take advantage from the lessons learned that we had from our project. And knowledge management, if we do knowledge management continuously, so that can also help in when we are actually doing our project as well. So that is also an important aspect of it. And talking about knowledge, so there can be two types of knowledge. One is explicit knowledge, and the second one is tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is something that is easier to convey. You can document it, you can formalize it, like a recipe, a recipe of biryani or cake recipe. This is something that you can write down, and someone having basic cooking knowledge following that recipe, they can make that particular dish. Tacit knowledge is something that is not easy to write down, not easy to articulate. It is more informal, or that comes from experience. Like let's say uh, a work of a carpenter, or a work of a painter. That is something that will take time. Maybe you need to observe people, you need to uh, engage with them, you need to learn from them to and gradually you will start acquiring that knowledge. So these are the two types of knowledge that can be there, and we can learn and build our skills when it comes to tacit knowledge by observing some people, by doing job shadowing. So these kind of things can help us in acquiring that tacit knowledge as well. Knowledge management, if talking about agile, we have the information radiators, which can help us in acquiring knowledge related to the project, how things are moving. We have different types of chart, burn down, burn up, all the charts. Learning by osmosis is also something that happens when we have co-located teams. Learning by osmosis is the knowledge that we pick up secondhand from our surrounding. When we hear people talking or see people doing something, so by observation or by listening to people, how they are dealing with different situations, different problems, how they are handling it, so having good observation skills and in a collaborative environment, that triggers this learning by osmosis, and this is again an advantage of having an agile team or a co-located team. Uh, Configuration management is also utilized in projects. What is configuration management? It's all about tracking different documents and doing the version control kind of things, and recording these accordingly, because as we go along in the project there may be changes coming in different project documents or maybe project plans. So to retrieve the latest version, there has to be some configuration related things agreed upon, that what is the version number there, how the version numbering will work, how so that you can track the latest document. So this is what configuration management is all about. uh, Without configuration management, no one will be knowing that which is the most latest or updated version of any product, service, or maybe any document. So that this is where configuration management comes in handy in to avoid these kind of problems. And monitoring and controlling process is all about doing plan versus actual to identify if there are any variances, and to track performance, uh, to maybe highlight some issues. This can be deliverable related problem, there can be defect, there can be resource related problem, there can be schedule related problem. So in monitoring and controlling, we continuously keep on monitoring how we are moving, how risks are being, how the risk related results are coming, how the issues are coming. Maybe we will be doing some forecast based on the plan versus actual that we are doing, and going along, a lot of lessons learned will be captured throughout the monitoring and controlling phase. And obviously, in monitoring and controlling, we will be verifying the deliverables as well. Our quality control department, which we talked about yesterday, they will be verifying the deliverables, whether though these variables or these deliverables are meeting the quality standards or not. So this is also an important aspect of monitoring and controlling. Uh, to monitor control, we may be utilizing different KPIs or different tools like velocity chart, lead time, cycle time, uh, earned value management, burn down, burn up charts, maybe net promoter score, how customers are satisfied or not, and different indicators depending on the situation of the project, how much work is completed, how much work is remaining. So we can have a lot of KPIs depending on the scenario of our project. We can utilize leading and lagging indicators to predict future performance or analyze how we have performed till now. So for predicting future performance, we use leading indicators that uh, how our future performance will be, and analyzing the past trends, that is called lagging indicators. And these charts we have already talked about. What are these charts? These charts help us in monitoring and controlling as we go along into the project. We talked about earned value management as well, how this helps us in understanding whether we are ahead of schedule, on schedule, or behind schedule, and if we are over budget, under budget, or at budget. Uh, Change management is also an important topic. We talked about this multiple times. Changes can happen, or changes can occur from anywhere. Anyone can propose a change. Uh, It can be your sponsor, it can be your any stakeholders, it can come from your any of your team members. So changes can come for multiple reasons. Can be any requirement that you missed earlier, any new regulation that comes in, maybe some specification related changes. Your estimates might have not been correct initially, and there may be some other environmental factors that can lead to or that can require some changes to be done. So change management, especially in predictive, in adaptive or in agile, we know change management is quite fluid. It is embedded in the overall process, but in predictive, we have a proper change control mechanism, which we talked about multiple times. So whenever a change comes in, you need to document it in the change log. That is your first step. Then you analyze the impact of it on different constraints. Based on that analysis, the change can be a minor change or a major change. If it is a major change, then you need to present it to your change control board. They review it, and then they share their decision. If it is approved, you update the change log, you communicate to stakeholders, you update your baselines, and then you start developing it. And if it is not approved, then you update the change log and communicate it to your stakeholders. And one, if any change that is approved, so as you start implementing it, so simultaneously you do monitoring and controlling part as well. So this is procedure is something that you need to understand very well. Your first step should, especially the first two steps are very important, that you document the change and you do the impact analysis before doing anything else. And we talked about this minor change, major change already. That minor change is something that does not impact any of your baselines. So this is something that maybe as a project manager you can approve, or you can decide whether we can go for it or not. Major change has to go to the change control board for their decision, because that is something that is affecting any of your baselines. Coming to the closure of a project, closure of a project happens when all the deliverables are complete. You verify that everything is complete. So now you verify that we have completed all the project scope. You secure acceptance from your stakeholders that we have completed everything. You close all the contracts. You have a post project review meeting where you discuss the lessons learned, what went well, what did not work well, and what we can improve. You then maybe release project related resources, any facilities, any equipment, any resources that you are not needing now, you release those, you archive the project, all the project documents, all the plans, uh, uh, all the documents like risk register, lesson learned register, everything, all the documents, you archive them into the knowledge repository, you update your OPAs, then maybe you can celebrate success, submit project closure report, and finally the project team is disbanded and they go back to the maybe their functional departments or to some other projects. So this is what we do in the close project or phase process. So this was it, a very small topic on integration. Just a recap. As I told you yesterday, that this would be just a recap of everything that we discussed till now, and it just took us maybe 15-20 minutes to complete it. Uh, oh, we have a quiz as well. What is this? Okay, okay, we are left with this as well. Okay, so talking about governance structure, what is governance? Can any one of you tell me what is governance? What comes to your mind when we?
It's the overall monitoring, just ensuring that um, maybe from a bird's eye view, just making sure that everything is moving according to plan.
Okay,
So
anyone
government is
else?
more about applying the policies and procedures to make the right decisions.
Yeah, yes. This is what governance is. And when we talked about the fundamental part, so we talked about something related to governance there as well. Governance basically whatever the framework or as you rightly said, both of you, that the function, the processes, the SOPs that are applicable to the project. And how we will be doing project management related activities to create our deliverable. This is what governance is. Governance can be done by your PMO, it can be done by your any steering committee. Uh, they can be your governing board as you go along, and this basically establishes how you will be governed throughout the or different activities related to your project will be governed as you go along. As the change control board is also a governance factor which governs how changes will be handled throughout the project. So governance, we may be requiring it for many purposes like communication, changes, how communication will be done, how, and there can be multiple aspects related to changes, how the acceptance part or the reviews will be done, and what type of life cycle we will be utilizing, what type of
Imran, your
organization
voice is
structure
breaking
things
up.
can come under the governance part.
Hello. Hello, Imran. Can you hear me?
Yes, I was unable to hear you.
Um, Zan
Yeah,
Usman,
yeah,
can
Yeah,
you
now
hear
I
me
your
can
now?
hear you.
Aapki, Imran bhai, your voice was breaking for the last maybe
It,
30 seconds.
Yeah, it was. Could you?
now it's better.
Yes.
It's better.
Okay. Okay, so let me uh, redo this part. So governance basically can be for a lot of things. It can be for changes, communication, how documentation will be done, decision making, how reviews will be done, how project closure will be done. So everything related to how things will be handled in the project. So all this basically is part of the governance, and all the things that we discussed, that how risks will be handled, how uh, changes will be handled. So all this basically is part of project governance. Tailoring is an important concept. We talked about this earlier as well. Just a recap that tailoring is about since
Imran,
every
sorry,
Mhm.
when we talk about the governance, so what's the difference program management and the governance? So is it the same because, or maybe these are the different? Because even in the program management, you also focus on or having the bird's eye view on the projects, right? At the program level.
Yes, for your project, maybe your governance structure or hierarchy is such that you are reporting to a program. So then maybe the program related governance things or SOPs that are there, so that should be applicable to your project as well. Or maybe your project is directly reporting to a portfolio. So then the portfolio related governance will be applicable to you as well. And then you have an internal governance structure for your project as well that will be aligned or should be aligned with whether you are part of a portfolio or part of a program. And ultimately, what the at the highest level will be your organizational governance that will be basically directing programs, portfolios, and projects. So your governance should be aligned with your organizational things. Yeah.
Right, right.
So talking about tailoring, each project is unique. You have different environment, different challenges, maybe different scenarios, different deliverables to make. So it's not mandatory that you need to utilize all the things. You can tailor your methodologies, your processes, your requirements depending on your situation. Uh, and then you can tailor it to according to your organizational requirements, and then as you go to the project level, so then you can tailor based on the requirements of your project, and you can keep doing this tailoring activity as per the requirements of your project. So this is what tailoring is all about. As we have seen as well that in predictive there are a lot of documentations and lot of documents and stuff like RACI metrics, issue log, risk register, multi change control mechanism, 10 plans, and maybe 30 plus project documents. We have the three baselines. So all these things we have not seen in agile or adaptive methodology. So this is what tailoring is. Depending on what methodology or development approach we are selecting, and then we can tailor it as per the organizational structure policies, and then we can tailor it further based on the requirements of the project, and we can keep doing it continuously as per the requirements and needs. Okay, so this was it for the integration management part as well. And with this, we have come to the conclusion of our sessions as well. Uh, and then now we have the quiz. So let's do it quickly then. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, so what we have B, 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 B. Yes, good. B is the right answer. Second one. Okay, thank you, Adil, for coming in. Okay, so we have C, C, C. Yes, C is the right answer. Good. Question 3. Right, good. Yes, C is the right answer. What happened here?
Your screen is not visible anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Okay, now it's visible, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the fourth one. Yes, good. Right answer, B. I don't know whether the questions are easy or I have been successful in developing that PMI mindset. You guys, shall I take the credit?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Right, good. Yes, B is the right answer. Okay, so we have 1C, 1A, 1B. Okay, mixed kind of responses. So let's forget about hybrid agile terminologies. When you find a problem, what is the first thing you do?
Do the root cause, do the valuation.
Yes, and which option is leading to that?
See.
Yes, so C is the right answer.
And also why I believe C was the right answer. I can share my logic and you can correct me if I'm wrong. So
Mhm.
basically, if the question has said that we have moved into agile, right? Then we could have, the answer could have been like, just once. Yes, then we could have document the issue for future reference and proceed with the marketing phase as planned. Now, as
Mm.
we're transitioning, then I think the right way is to do the retrospective. And maybe after the retrospective, we can go for the option D, right? But we need
Yeah.
to know the impact and severity of how it can lead the marketing campaign.
Yes, that can also be an approach. And but the point to remember, whenever you face an issue, the first or a problem, the first action is after documentation is to analyze it and find the root cause before doing anything else, before jumping to any actions. Okay, what other, although this is referring to document the issue for future reference, but the last part is not correct of it. Okay, that's why D was wrong. So, and the rest of the two options, they are suggesting some actions. So before performing any action, you need to analyze it, find the root cause, and then after analysis, maybe you can go to the action part of things. Okay. All right. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of our sessions. Alhamdulillah, we have concluded this PMP training of ours. We had some uh, cancelled sessions and stuff, but ultimately, Alhamdulillah, we have completed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the sessions, and I was able to actually uh, convey all the important things and topics, and you must be satisfied whatever we have concluded till now.